Dream at Cascades is hosting its 27th annual Oktoberfest on Sunday, November 2nd at the Marriott AC Hotel at Cascades Park.
Oktoberfest features German food, unlimited beer and wine samples, pretzels from Link Sausages and Beer, a silent auction, and entertainment.
Tickets are $50 for general admission and $100 for VIP. Proceeds benefit Meals on Wheels and other services for seniors in Leon County.
Elder Care Services has proudly served the community for over 55 years, helping seniors remain independently living in their own homes while reducing social isolation.
So bring on your best polka and join us on Sunday, November 2nd from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Marriott AC Hotel at Cascades Park.
For more information or to purchase Oktoberfest tickets, call Elder Care Services at 850-921-5554 or visit eldercarebigbend.org.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable. Is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV begins right now. There he is. There's Ira. There's Corey. Hello, boys. How the heck are you?
What up? We made it.
Yay, sausage! Right out the gates.
Back to the pity sausage, guys. We're back to the pity sausage.
Man,
Losing streak sausage.
I thought we'd get further along before that started. Man,
no, I think
out
that
the gates.
That last Saturday night was some pity sausage. Because I don't even know. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about as we're reflecting on the losses.
Well, every loss of them.
Every loss is different.
Up.
Yeah.
You know, that Virginia loss, you really didn't get a chance to let that marinate because it's on to Miami.
The next loss happened so fast.
Well,
you didn't realize that there would be more to choose from. Like even after the Miami loss, I was still kicking around the Virginia loss. Now I got the weight of the Miami loss, and then I'm like processing that as we lose to Pitt.
Yeah.
So there's it's a jumbo.
So
it's a gumbo.
It is. And Pitt led to the pity sausage. And if you want your register sausage, go to registermeats.com. That's the website. But if you're in this part of the country, I just bought some of the jalapeno cheddar.
Okay.
And listen, I've been married to Kim for over 25 years now.
All right.
And I love her.
That's
and
good.
I think she
I'm
loves
glad
me.
to hear. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
She doesn't like the jalapeno cheddar.
Well, it might be time to look into something else. There's plenty of fish out there, man.
And
plenty of fish in the sea. And there's
cheddar.
a lot that like jalapeno.
I was like, are you sure? Because I was recommending for dinner. I brought some home, brought the hot dog buns. I was like, this is going to be a great
Let's
night.
do this, yeah.
I don't really like the jalapeno cheddar.
Well,
did you say, I'm going to pretend you didn't say that?
Yeah.
I'll get
here's some jalapeno cheddar for you.
Jalapeno cheddar, we're good to go.
Yeah, we're happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think that, Ben, will he do some sort of special if they lose 4 straight that like to beat the band?
I mean, I feel like, you want to get, it can't all be like, yes, exactly right. In odds, odds are they will win this game, but who knows? Who knows?
Right.
Who
it's an ACC game.
It's coin flip.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a coin flip at this point. You lose ACC game.
I also don't like the fact that we're just airing grievances today.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that Ben deprives everybody of a promo code just because this football team can't win a game.
They don't win games, so you might as well do it in reverse. Although he's thinking, I can't do that. We lose so many ACC games in a row. I'll be broke.
Yeah,
I won't
that's
make
a
a
good point.
profit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Well, if you don't get the promo code, we'll see. There should be a promo code this week. There should be a promo code this week when they win at Stanford.
And if they lose to Stanford, there should be a promo code with Norvell in it somewhere. It should have Norvell in there somewhere in the promo code. I'm not going to say what the verb is before or after.
You shouldn't need a promo code, though, to get your registered sausage. Go to your local grocery store. If you're in the Southeast, it's ever-growing footprint. Soon it's going to be nationwide. But if you aren't in this part of the country, go to registermeats.com. That's the website, and have it delivered. It comes fresh, delicious, all the different varieties. Try the jalapeno cheddar and see how wrong Kim is.
She's really wrong on that one. Yeah. All right. Well, here we are again, boys.
Yeah.
These conversations, well, we're good at them, and we've had a lot of practice.
Way too much practice.
We've had a lot of practice in how to.
Not new territory.
No, we've had a lot of practice in how to deal with this sort of thing. It's less than desirable. It's not ideal. It's very frustrating, and it quickly creates a level of despondency that I don't like. Because we're actually, we're hosts of a show. We've got to be engaging. We got to care. We can't drift off into the ether and with our thoughts and think about what should be, what ought to be, but what isn't.
Back in the day, and I wasn't in Tallahassee when Bill McGrotha, the great Bill McGrotha, was writing for the Democrat. Truly a legend. Like his writing, if you go back and read his books of columns,
he's
like they held up. Good. A lot of times, old sports writing.
Yeah.
Even some of the stuff I wrote 5 years ago doesn't really hold up, but his stuff is really good. But there was a game, I don't know what game you might remember. There was a game where the team just did not show up, and his column was just blank. Like he said, I'm giving the same effort that the Florida State football team did.
Well played.
It was just a blank space of.
I mean, some might call that a cop out and lazy.
Hey,
others would say
he's got standards.
Well,
he's not lowering his standard for that
point,
nonsense.
Good point.
And so we can't do that. There's plenty of. I was thinking about that though, like. I feel like because we've gone directly to the big picture after that loss, Corey after the game wrote about the big picture.
Yeah,
and
I've been talking about.
You've been talking about. We've all been focused on the big picture. You were saying how these press conferences are kind of silly because all anybody cares about is the big picture. But there is a lot of interesting stuff going on with this team. I think that normally you would talk about, but because of the situation that led to this season, you don't have it. And somebody asked on Wake Up about this feels like a year one. Well, it can't feel like a year one because it's year 6.
Yeah.
But
that's the problem with it feeling
if
like
it was year one, there would be some
well,
interesting
the point with it
about.
feeling like year one is it is a brand new staff with a bunch of new players. So it is year one for this staff, but Norvell doesn't get that benefit. It's his year 6. It's Gus's year 1. Gus has done a fine job in year 1. But that's considering where they were.
But Gus and Tony really also the whole staff, like Tim Harris. I mean, like we're talking to him today, the receivers coach, and it's we're asking these. It's just been there's 6 games into his first career.
It's tough for those guys.
Yeah, and I'm not excusing it. They were get paid handsomely. They knew what they were getting into, but it's just that is a weird dynamic.
Yeah, because you would want to know who behind Deuce is developing. Who do they have that they feel like they can trust? Who is – because I was worried about this. And you've got injuries to boot, but you're going to need somebody else. You're going to need somebody that you can really believe in and trust to run the right routes and be where they're supposed to be.
Well, Corey tried to bring it up on the wrap. Mekhi Danzy. I mean, if this wasn't this situation, we'd all be going, man, this Mekhi Danzy's something else.
Well, he's like Percy Harvin. He's unbelievable.
You know what's weird about the Mekhi Danzy thing? And you're right. On the one hand, if you just look at it, empirically, you just say, okay, what would you make of this guy at this point in his career? You'd be like, well, golly, the potential is through the roof. It's amazing. On the other hand, every time they have to force feed the ball to Mekhi Danzy, I'm like, why are we in a position where that has to be this young man's responsibility already? Where are the other receivers that you have on this roster where you don't have to – because Mekhi still doesn't catch it well all the time, right? He's developing as a player. Yeah. It's going to take him time, but the wow factor is over the moon, right? You have all of that. But you don't have some other polished receiver who's able to do what they need them to do, just the basic plays. You don't have that.
Well, they're all hurt.
Well, they weren't all hurt prior to Saturday.
No, I gotcha. I know, but what I was going to say about that though was that's why I asked Gus about him and Croma both, because the drive that we've all focused on coming out of halftime, you're up by 7 and you get nothing. You go 3 and out.
Again, you've done it again.
That drive is so different if Croma makes the right read on his run. Right?
Yeah, it's a 2nd and 5. It's crazy that he had a good game. I thought he ran well. I thought except for that run.
But that's what's interesting about it. And again, goes back to the same topic is here you've got Croma and Danzy who are both going to be incredible players, but they both have moments in that game where
they look very much like
a freshman.
Yeah,
and it's like, So that's a normal process. And Gus said, I asked him, I was like, when do you expect them to be not having to worry about the growing pains? He said, usually about halfway through a season. So that'll be interesting to see if this team gets it together, what those guys look like when you're not having the freshman moments anymore and you're just getting better. So, there's it's just a weird
the dichotomy of having to say, wow, that's awesome. We've got us a good one for the future, followed by, why are we in a position to have to rely on true freshmen and redshirt freshmen because you haven't recruited worth a damn? And it's just a reminder that over and over again, we find ourselves in a situation where there's no depth, no quality depth, and that you have to start over and reload again at the end of the year. You're going to go buy 5 new offensive linemen. You're going to have to go, presumably, we'll see if they have to go get a quarterback. They got a lot of things they're going to have to do.
But I think also the question on the other side of that is like, yeah, man, Danzy looks really like he's going to be extra special.
Maybe the biggest upside of any receiver that I've covered here.
We talked about that first touchdown catch where he's running he's running diagonally and then just darts back vertically to adjust to the ball. That's NFL type stuff.
Yeah,
that's
he's going to be really, really good. It's exciting.
When is he going to be here?
Well, I got good news on that front.
Oh,
okay.
Here you go, guys.
Okay.
I was hoping to be able to introduce something good news.
Well, Danzy signs 3-year deal with the Noles.
In a sense. So here's what I found out. I did some searching because I was curious about this. Seriously, I was. Yeah. When Tom and I were talking on Monday after my diatribe to start the show, and we were talking about how much Mike makes everything so much more expensive. Right? Because he screws this up all the time. And so then now you have to overpay for the kids that are on your roster. You have to overpay for the kids that you want to bring in. If you're going to salvage anything of a class, you're going to get bent over by them because they're going to demand so much more money. And a lot of that is true, except for under the new rev share deal, the guys that already got their money and are getting a portion of that is protected. Like that is sort of a multi-year deal.
Yeah. They're not all the same, but some of them are multi-year deals.
Some of them are multi-year deals. So I'll give you an example like a Chroma. So you would be worried about Chroma, right? Because you'd say to yourself, well, Chroma's going to look around and say, this team's losing 5 and 6 games on the heels of losing 10. It's not any good. What am I going to do? They're replacing this entire offensive line. I want to leave. It's not that simple. Now, he can transfer. But what we're more worried about is this idea that, say, Texas Tech, who's got more money than they know what to do with, they are a power back away from being great. So they say, well, let's just take Chroma because Florida State's not going to be anything and he'll want to take our money. It's not that simple. They would have to then pay
a buyout,
all the buyout, which would then give you money to go and reinvest in okay. So the rules are a little different than they were.
So Norvell's playing chess is what it sounds like. He's ahead of the curve again.
People could come get your players, but there is it's penal. They've got to pay the buyout. And you get your money restored. You're able to reinvest. So it's not money on top of money.
And there is some and, that's what's confusing with some of the numbers that get thrown out there, because I know, for example, there's an offensive lineman that Florida State is involved with who, I was told, so-and-so is offering him $800,000, but that's not $800,000 for 1 year. It's maybe a
multi-year deal. Right.
So then you got to decide. Some negotiations sometimes can be, well, we'll give you $400 for 1 year. And then
you want all your money up front?
Are you betting on yourself and, and that kind of thing, because you may be able to, so there's a lot of variables there, but yeah, I don't think, Tom talked about it yesterday, just on your guys' show, that that's part of the calculation is trying to retain your talent and who you lose and all that. But I just don't think in this era, because it is so fluid, I don't think any of that's a big factor. I mean, I think I
just want to watch Danzy for 2 more years. Legitimately, I want to see what that looks like.
He is. I was thinking, because Rashad Green was awesome as a freshman. Kenny Shaw was very good as a freshman.
Rashad was so fluid.
There were a lot of guys that were even Florida State. We've lamented the lack of great receivers the last several years, but they've had some great freshman receivers. Since I've been covering them, I don't remember a freshman where you think, oh my, this upside could be unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like a faster Jerry Rice.
I mean, he's
quit laughing.
He's phenomenal.
He's great.
He's
the skill set is incredible.
Yeah, he's not a faster Jerry.
He is. He's definitely faster. He's definitely faster.
Most of the league was. Stop comparing our up and coming receiver to Jerry Rice, please.
But it is a famous Black Jerry.
It is a famous Black Jerry.
Maybe the most famous.
The most famous Black Jerry.
So what's hard about talking about Norvell right now, and I heard you and Tom talking about it a little bit, and I get it. People are done with him. They're done with him. It's 8 straight conference losses. It's ridiculous.
It is absurd, Corey. Though.
It's unbelievable.
You can't say it out loud.
It's unbelievable. And also, I wrote a story yesterday where they have the 3rd worst Power 4 record in the country the last year and a half. It's only Purdue and Oklahoma State are the only teams that have less FBS wins than Florida State. And one of those FBS wins is effing Kent State, who's an NAIA school.
And
who just moved up.
And what are those 2 schools
and both those schools fired their coach in the midst of this. Florida State still has theirs. But we are in the middle of this. We're not at the end of this season.
Yeah, you're going to do the pragmatic approach.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what happens if they do go 4-2 over the next 6 or 5-1, heaven forbid? Then is it a conversation still?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
you think so?
No, are you saying this conversation that
is it a conversation that he still needs to go?
No, I think if you're, it depends on how it looks. Obviously, if you go 7-5, but you are not competitive against Florida or Clemson,
you got to go.
If you're not competitive against Florida, get on out. Yeah. Come on, man.
I don't think they will be. I think Florida will bottle this offense up. I think the personnel matchup is a bad one for Florida State. Anyhow, go ahead.
But if you win one of those games. Yeah, man, I think everything, but the problem is, and the reason everybody was so done with him on Saturday night is you're like, well, we just saw that. How is it going to project over these next 6 games?
How do you find a way to win those other games?
I don't know. They're going to win those other 4 that you'd have to guarantee.
And that was the problem that I had with the Miami game was that, and I wrote about it afterwards. It's like, it's not that they lost to Miami. There's no shame in that. When you get down 28-3, you can lose all these other games. Like, that's why we talked about he was probably coaching for his career last Saturday. We knew how big a game that was. He absolutely should have known how big a game that was.
I was told that they all did, that the boosters did, that the big money people did. He certainly did. You can see it on his face. Yeah. He knows. It's one of those, what have you done? Look at you. What have you done? You know what you did. You left this all to hell. You've lost all the equity you ever had. Even the people who were, in my opinion, unrealistically in favor of keeping Mike were like, well, I'm off of you now, brother. I can't help you. There were people who I would get in arguments with that are dear friends of mine. Like, we would text each other and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're too hasty and all this and that." Too hasty? Shoot, he's lost 8 straight ACC.
How long has he been doing this?
Yeah. So anyhow, like, we would get in those debates. Right. Those people were the ones texting me on Saturday night, like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, I can't do it."
I made the case as we sat here last week that I didn't like the idea that people were dragging up last season. And it's like, man, but then you lose to Virginia and Pitt, and there's just no benefit of the doubt.
Well, why does it have to be so bipolar, man? There are programs out there that are just pretty good. This is making Auburn look like a stable program. Right. When you do what he's done the last 3 or 4 years, this is absurd. 6 3-game losing streaks in 5 years. With a 19-game winning streak back there in the middle is almost impossible to pull off, and he's done it. And it's like, oh, man, we're happy they beat Alabama. Oh, you just lost to Virginia and Pitt. And then they're posing for photos in your end zone. Like, Florida State fans, I mean, obviously you don't want a bad team. You don't want a consistently bad team. But give them some consistently pretty good. That's not asking too much.
No, it's not.
But I think the problem with this season as we move forward is it could end up being pretty good. They are in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. If they get out of this streak because they play 2 what should be easier games coming up, I said should be, you're 5-3 going to Clemson, and Clemson ain't great, and maybe you have some belief, and maybe somehow you miracle a win against that average-ass Clemson team, and then all of a sudden, has he retained his job?
Well, he would retain his job.
To what end?
Oh, okay, so that's a very different discussion. That's a different discussion. I believe, as we sit here today, Florida State's ability to be an elite program is not going to happen under Mike Norvell. I don't believe so. Everything else is immaterial, in my opinion. Like, we're done. Now, he can keep his job.
I was going to say, but then you get back to the same conversation we were having before the season. It's like, okay, well, is it worth $50-60 million to fire a guy to take another chance on somebody else?
Yeah,
that you think could be good. He may not be elite, but he could be good.
Yeah, I think with Florida State, they're in a tough position. Because every one of their actions over the last 40 years tells you that they care about being elite. Like, the money they've poured in, that they've sunk in to their football program, their football coaches, their football facilities, what they require of the alumni, the boosters, the fans, the community. It's all football, football, football. We want to be – look what we just did with the stadium and the indoor practice facility and the football-only facility and all of the commitments that they require.
The Loge boxes.
All that stuff, right? You're telling me it's like we saw that Georgia made a decision. Georgia decided that winning 10 games and occasionally competing for an SEC title
and having a nice man as a head coach,
a wonderfully nice man, that was not their goal. They're like, that's great, Mark. You're a great guy. Nobody's going to deny that. We're a pretty good football program, but we want to be Alabama. We want to be Alabama, and then we want to be better than Alabama, and we're not going to get there with you, Mark. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn our head. We're going to hold our noses. We're going to change laws. We're going to ignore crimes. People are going to run over kids in the community every day for the benefit of a football program. And
it is outrageous what happens with that program. It's unbelievable.
That's what they decided to do. But I believe Florida State wants that as well. And
go get Kirby.
Well, the era has shifted on them in the midst of all of this. Like, you don't have the guarantee of that guy that you're going to bring in that's going to make it all better. So you're stuck. Like, you're a middling program, not to be taken all that seriously. This guy doesn't recruit. He doesn't insist on his coaches recruiting. And you're going to just be at best 8-4, 9-3 most years, kind of a contender, maybe every once in a while.
Unless the portal saves you. If the portal saves you, even
the portal's changed dramatically, where the kinds of guys you brought in before are really not that available anymore. Well,
you got Deuce, but then it's like, well, yeah, but you got the son of one of your players.
Yes,
would Deuce have come here if Dominic Robinson went to USC in 2001?
It's a tough position to be in because you're stuck in limbo, and that I think we all would agree. Like, you can deal with the bad if there's a plan that you can put in place to overcome it, and you certainly, like, we all love the good. But when you're stuck in between, where you can't say definitively, like, this is the pits of the world, and this guy's going to make it not. This guy's going to make it great. If you don't have that, then you have to proceed with great caution, and you don't know. You almost like
that's why
paralysis.
8-4. You're like, I don't know what to do. Do we have somebody who is guaranteed?
Who's guaranteed to do better than that?
8-4.
No, and that's why coming into the year, I mean, that's why I felt like if you go 8-4, he's fine. You go 7-5, it's a little dicey. It's going to depend on how it looks. Well, that's where we are right now.
The losing streaks, though, is what kills me. It's just the spiraling. It's just the spiraling his teams always do.
Yeah, no, I got you. But I am saying though that if you finished 8-4, I think you're fine. If you finish at 7-5, because is it what you want it to be? No. But is it worth spending $50-something million when you don't know what the next answer is and whether or not it's going to be right? So from that standpoint, I mean, I think you can. There are programs all around the country, there are businesses all around the country that don't fire everybody that they don't think is a superstar,
right?
And that are sure, no doubt home run hire. And so people in the media and people sitting at home can say, well, if you don't believe he can win you a national title, then you need to make the change. Well, man, there's a little bit more to it.
There's a lot more to it. Although I would say if you've made somebody your CFO or CEO and he's failing you, you're going to fire him.
Well,
you may not fire all the other employees.
Those guys don't have $60 million buyouts.
I mean, but that's where if you're aspiring to this other thing, and I believe they are, but the problem is it is a much more complicated set of circumstances, because the next question becomes, well, do you want this AD to make the next hire? You want that guy to make the hire, or are we firing him too? Because that's in the conversation. There's a lot of stuff, and we all know the behind the scenes machinations of that, like how that works. There's a lot of people who would like to see a change there too. Would you make that change before you make the next change? Because you're not going to fire the coach and then bring in a new AD. You'd bring in a new AD and then let him fire the coach and bring in who he wants. Now that's just one topic. And not everybody feels that way.
Right. And that's the problem they've had at Gainesville, is that there was a feeling that the AD that hired Napier should not be the next.
He got lucky. Basketball won the national title.
And he just got an extension. And Napier, it looked like, was turning things around. But he's the guy that hired Napier, and he also, I think he might have hired the guy before him. But anyway, there's been a lot of problems in that athletics department. So if you fire Napier, who makes that hire? And they have an interim president as well, which doesn't make the job as attractive. That was something that I brought up last night. I don't know what you think about it, but we talked about it yesterday on Jeff's show. Lengthy segment.
Oh, me, Corey. You would have been like,
oh yeah,
throwback to yesteryear.
Okay, like 2004 throwback.
It's a meaty segment.
Because Jeff and Tom brought up the fact that the schedule next year is daunting.
Brutal.
Yes.
It's brutal.
To say the least.
It's not a great schedule.
Yeah.
Does that affect how interested people are in this job? I think it might be.
Oh.
Or does it affect the way you think about, like, hey, let Mike wear that ass kicking, and then you fire him and you bring in the new guy who's set up for better success?
I am of the opinion, if you know, like, I think Florida made a mistake. I think Florida made a mistake with Muschamp when they brought him back, when they knew he was going to be fired as soon as they lost a few games. I think they made a mistake with Napier. I think if you bring Norvell back just to fire him in the middle of next season.
Well, no, you wait till the end of the season.
But the end of next season, that's foolish. You're not accomplishing anything. Get ahead of it. I don't think Florida State, even with a daunting schedule, is like, what'd you expect me to do? It's my brand new it's my first year I got to play Alabama, Notre Dame. You lose
the luster and the new car smell when you bring in a
guy
in
next year.
But it's like, it ain't like 2027 is going to be, you get to play Georgia. Like, it's not like that's going to be easy either.
I know.
So let's hope. But also, like, Florida State, you can't assume that you can have – is there such thing as an easy schedule for this program right now? Right. You might as well jump on it now if you get a chance, and wear a couple losses next year. At least you have a built-in excuse because it's year one and your predecessor left you what he left you. Or they're about to rip off 7 wins in a row, boys.
And we're not having
this conversation. And they're going to be 10-3, just like
Norvell.
2022. He's going to be doing a keg stand. I mean, it's going to be out of control.
I will say real quick, I know you're going to go to break, but I will say that I do feel like the guys on this team, the players they have more leaders on this team. I think there's more of a chance that these guys do figure something out than just go in the complete tank the way it did last year. So
I think that's true. I think it's
whether they're good
less
enough,
of a toxic situation.
Right. Whether or not they're good enough to win 4 or 5 of these last games, we'll see. But I don't expect it to completely devolve the way it did last year. We'll see.
I think that's true. I just don't know if they're good enough to do what they have to do. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV continues in just a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole Headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
2025 Nissan midsize SUVs have 0% interest for 60 months and up to $5,000 cash back. Kraft Nissan in Tallahassee.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Injured? Call Basic Brooks and come back stronger. Offices, Tallahassee.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
You do wonder, by the way, given that Mike has to know the temperature, Corey, you asked the question in the press conference, the difference between internal pressure and external pressure. Did you buy it, what he said, his answer?
Well, yeah, I do. I heard you and Tom talk about this yesterday. It's like I do wish he'd stop saying nobody cares more than I do.
Yeah, stop doing that. There's a lot of people that care more.
But also, none of us get $50 million to not coach the football team like he might. And I know he cares a great deal. I know he's really frustrated by it. Maybe he should say nobody's more frustrated by it. But to say nobody cares more, man, there's the people that pay for those loge boxes care quite a bit.
I was just around them on Saturday.
The people that paid for Tommy Castellanos care quite a bit.
How about the people who pay season tickets like my dad, who aren't in a loge box, who had to elevate their status just to be able to keep their seats?
And it's not about money. I ran into a guy this morning, and I was coming out of pickleball. He was going to the weight room. We just started talking. And as the conversation went on,
did y'all go to the sauna?
No, not this time.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you, missing out.
That's a good conversation there.
But like, we're just talking in the parking lot, and everything's fine. And then the more he starts talking,
the
more he's like, I just have to stop. I said, go work out, man.
Yeah.
Now you're motivated.
Because it's been a part of, like, speaking for Jeff and I, it's been a part of my life since I was 7 years old. Yeah. It's been a part of your life probably the same amount.
Yeah,
and I do care a lot. Yeah. I care a lot, and I care a lot now because it's also my livelihood. But there's a lot of people that have grown up with Florida State football and are embarrassed by the current state of it.
It's a huge part of their lives.
It's a huge it brings people a lot of great joy, and obviously the last year and a half, quite a bit of anguish.
It brings them some perspective.
Yes, right.
I'll say I think he's very aware of that.
Right.
I do think he understands that there are people who are like my dad or like Corey's dad was, or Corey and myself, or and I get texts from people that live all over the country that went to Florida State. Either at the same time that I did or just after, and they text me and they're all just enraged, and they know that it's almost irrational when they text some of the things they text because they're losing it. They're like, what in the effing hell? And I think to myself, imagine being like a Nebraska fan. And you were the most dominant program in the sport for a stretch. You are a legendary program, and you've been obsolete for 20 plus years. And people are so fearful that could happen to their program, and in this case, Florida State. Now, I don't think it's going to happen to Florida State for a lot of reasons, but hey, man, you've had a losing season, 5 of the last 10 years? You started 0-3 in the ACC this year. You've lost 8 straight ACC games. You lost 9 of 10 ACC games. You do feel powerless. You don't feel like you can do it. And then when you hear the coach say something like that, it pisses you off to no end.
Yeah.
And that's why you should stop saying
that. Because I'm telling you, I do think he's a likable person.
Oh, I think he's a bad person.
And I think he's a genuine, as much as a college football head coach can be. They're all weirdos. I think he's one of the most normal of the weirdos. And I think he's a genuine person that truly, truly cares about his lot in life and his lot with this program's lot in life.
I think it matters to him.
It matters to him.
You talked about, but he cares that the fans are disappointed and upset. It matters to him. And it doesn't for a lot of coaches.
Sure.
It certainly does. But at the end of the day, it doesn't.
I mean, if you keep losing, you can care on the beach.
But I think anybody who has a discipline and a work ethic and cares about what they produce would be very upset. And he is upset with the fact that he's failing. He is failing here currently, and he's right up against it now. I mean, his seat is hot. He's not necessarily going to be fired, tomorrow. You have to run and lose to Stanford. There's probably no coming back.
I literally don't think. I think.
I mean, there's
he might be on the plane. He might be on the plane back, but I don't think he'd be the coach Monday practice.
Well,
I just don't think he would.
So that's a topic of conversation because somebody asked me that yesterday. Speaking of which, walking in and out of place, I was going on our old friends at Horizons. I was walking to Horizons to eat with my wife. We were sitting outside watching the sunset. It was a glorious night. And
were Mike and Carrie there?
They were not. Clark works there now, so he's there all the time. So,
right.
But yeah, he
how about
came
some
out,
nepotism?
Yeah,
let's see a case of nepotism. Good grief!
His last name was Smith. Well, if it was Smith, he would be working.
Yeah, he would be working. But so yeah, long story short, this guy asked me the same question. He's like, "Hey man, out of curiosity, I know you're done with him, Jeff, but would they be done with him if he loses on Saturday to Stanford?" And I thought, you kind of have to fire him that Sunday, don't you?
Well, that would be like the Notre Dame game last year, where you have to show your fan base that you care. And this is unacceptable in every way, shape, or form. Because if you lose to Stanford, you are losing 3 more times, and the season is completely, officially off the rails. There's no coming back from a loss to Stanford. None.
I mean, you'd be losing to a team that not only is
Fired
not
their coach
good,
already.
not only not good, but yeah, Frank Reich, their interim head coach, not only is he the interim head coach, but he has repeatedly said back to ACC kickoff and since, I don't want this job. Like I'm not trying to earn a permanent job.
Yeah.
Like, cause people keep asking him, he's like, no, I am not. I did Andrew Luck a favor. I love him. I'm trying to help him out. I am not going to, if I coach anywhere in the future, it's going to be in the NFL. It's not going to be here. And if you lose to that team, it's like, man, what are we doing? But I think it's going to be a challenge. You're going across the country.
You wrote that. So why do you think it's going to be a challenge for people who didn't read it? They should go to warchant.com and do so.
And
but if not.
Well, that was my whole point about that game, and why my stance completely changed is because at the end of the day, if you can't play defense a lick, and that's basically now what we've seen when they didn't play defense against Virginia, you're like, okay, well, you went on the road, you've been
mobile quarterback.
You got fat on these chumps you've been beating the last couple of weeks. Yeah. You didn't have the edge. You went in there overconfident probably, and they got you. It's their home game. It's just
everything went wrong early. Yeah.
Then you come back 1 week later against Miami, and you have guys that look like they can't match up with Miami at all. Like some of the guys in the secondary, you're just getting run by.
Oh yeah,
that's not good. And then you come back a week later, and you look like you didn't know Desmond Reed was on their team. So that was
was amazing.
It was preparation and execution. And it's like, and then how many weeks in a row are you going to ask these linebackers to cover dudes in space that they can't cover in space? And then on top of that, now I'm like the guy at the parking lot this morning.
And on top of that, another thing.
The thing that killed me about the defense in that game is you're going to play that deep shell and like just sit back, but then not trigger. It's like, what do you do? What's the point there?
They were frozen.
What's the point of playing that scheme? And then
another one and another thing.
I guess the other part of it is, and I think this is why a lot of fans are done, is because they're not even looking like a likable team right now. Like you're seeing dumb penalties. You're seeing the ridiculous celebrations after every play, no matter the circumstances. Like when a play is over, the first thing anybody wants to do is go like take a picture in the end zone or whatever. And it's like all that stuff's fine if you're good, but when you're not good, man, it drives people crazy. So that's like all of that does not portend to me a team that's going to go on the road and play really well.
And it's frustrating because you saw a team who didn't do any of those things against Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
They triggered. They hit. They played with confidence and ferocity. They weren't overly look at me. It was about the next play. It was celebrating with each other the accomplishments after each stop. They were buttoned up and prepared in a way that Alabama wasn't. They were the more prepared team. You outcoached Alabama. You outplayed Alabama. You did all those things. And ever since then, Alabama's been worlds better than you have gotten better from that loss. They got a kid now who's in the Heisman conversation, and you have slowly just gone back and reverted to the same sorry-ass form from a year ago in which all of the things that pissed this fan base off are rearing its ugly head. You're losing in the ACC again and again and again. 2 of them are at home, and you just sense that it's about to go off the tracks.
It's tough when you have a program that doesn't handle expectations well, because as soon as they beat Alabama,
how are you gonna say that?
As soon as they beat Alabama, right? But this is the point. As soon as they beat Alabama, the expectations went through the roof. Yeah. So they don't handle expectations well. They also don't handle failure well. Well, then what do you handle well?
The wheel route, Corey. They are all over that wheel route, baby.
They don't handle when they're good, and they can't handle when they're good because then they think they're too good. They thought they were too good going into that Georgia Tech game last year when they had accomplished nothing. They beat Alabama. They think they're the best team in the country when they've beaten one team. So they can't handle when they're too good, and when they show any weakness or vulnerability, they can't handle that either.
Well, and that's where honestly,
they could when they had Jordan Travis and Jared Burse, and that's about a wrap on the times they could handle expectations.
And we haven't had this conversation, and this was not necessarily my viewpoint, but as you're saying that, I'm sitting there going, well, that's all on the head coach.
I know.
That's all on the head coach. But, and that was the thing, like talking about the
that
defense.
Wasn't a shot at Earl Little. That was a shot at the head coach.
Well, I was just thinking, because we were talking about the defense, and I was like, going back to what we said in the first segment is, if this was a normal situation, you have a first-year defensive coordinator, and Mike Norvell's not running the defense. So you would say, hey, man, that's not all on the head coach. He hired this defense coordinator that everybody was excited about, had a good resume, has done good things, and it's not working through 6 games. But that's not necessarily a reason you fire the head coach, except for last season. Like, that's the problem. Is there's no grace because of last season.
Well, and it's frustrating too, because there are other aspects that are less than flattering for the head coach. I go back to this a lot, and I hate it because I'm beating a dead horse. That dude's opening press conference, he talked about the importance of special teams. He talked about how it would be a reflection of what the team is, because he believed that that's where you see the mental toughness and the makeup of what a squad is, how they play on special teams.
Yeah. How much you care about that is going to show.
How you do anything is how you do everything, all that stuff, right? Hey, man, the special teams, if they didn't have a guy with a great leg year in and year out, there would be no aspects of special teams that you can hang your hat on.
I would love
and coaches don't get credit for a guy who's just got a booming leg. Like, get the hell out of here.
They lead the nation in kickoff coverage, kickoff return yards allowed. They've allowed
zero
all season.
Just kick it out of the
zero
returns.
Which I was telling Ira, is like, if you really believe in what you're doing as a special teams coach, and
you would never do that.
You would try to pin them at the 4 and see them try to return it.
Correct.
And then you tackle them at
like
18.
Jimbo used to do.
They
all
get a
the
block
time.
in the back, and they get the ball at the 9. You just say start the ball at the 25. It's a great weapon to have, that you have a kid that can kick, but they all do now.
When you have this defense, though, Corey.
You don't want to back them up. It doesn't matter. They could be at the 25, the 50. You're getting the ball back.
My point is, though, is that, okay, so the coach said that. So this is a terrible reflection on him. But the guy, and I understand he's now, linebackers? Why is Papucha still here? I mean, I love him. He's a nice guy. What the hell? What does it say you do here, man? Special teams, ends, linebackers, anything you've been responsible for sucks.
2 All-American kickers last year, buddy.
Yep. And he had
he made them.
He was Jermaine. He was Johnson and Jermaine Johnson and Jared Burse's coach. How dare you? He's the only one that's produced any NFL talent around here.
But
Shut up.
Pump block to me. The pump block to me, and we don't have the stopwatch to know how quickly Chimento's getting it off. Maybe he's taking too long. But they've got 4 guys. They motioned a 4th guy over there. They have 4 guys. You only have 3 to block, and you take the outside guy and leave a guy to go right down the middle. And you could say, okay, well, that's on the players, I guess. Maybe they've got to decide that. But you also can get the numbers right for a team that spends as much time on special teams as they do.
Well,
unless
I was going to say, we don't know that they spend any time on it anymore.
Given the way that they used to, I wandered Hauser when we were out
But
of
I'm saying Malzahn might have come in and said, what is this practice schedule? We're not doing this. We got a kid that can kick it out of the end zone every time. We're not going to practice kickoff coverage once this entire season. What's the point of it? Literally, what is the point of it? It's a waste of practice because they have not had one returned against them
But you do have
all
to
year.
practice punting, Corey.
You do, and catching them.
And
catching them, too. You can practice that as well.
Which is hit or miss.
Damn it, man. That's a lot of things.
There are a lot
of things, guys.
I still like Mekhi Dancy a lot. I do, man. He's fun to watch. He's a good one. Cromaw's fun to watch, too. Yeah.
He's fun. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
Changes could be coming to that Florida State and Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare Memorandum of Understanding. FAMU's Board of Trustees are pushing for Rattler representation in that agreement. During a special board meeting Friday, President Marva Johnson indicated discussions are underway to include FAMU as a partner. FAMU said the proposal puts representation and inclusion at the center as well as a workforce pipeline. The proposal also calls for guaranteed clinical placements for FAMU students. Ethan Pritchard's family says they are overjoyed about the next step in his recovery. The FSU football player was shot in the head while giving his aunt a ride home in Havana on August 31st. And after a long and challenging recovery, he's now headed to rehab in Jacksonville to continue healing. The legal process against the 4 suspects accused in his shooting continues to unfold in Gadsden County. This is Rachel Linnea with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update.
Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 86. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight, lows around 61. Clear skies tomorrow, high of 84. Bright sunshine Thursday with a high of 85. 83 Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 83 degrees.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
If you're looking for the perfect date night spot, treat your special someone to a cozy courtyard dinner at Café de Martín, Tallahassee's hidden gem for authentic Peruvian cuisine. Share a bottle of wine, dive into our sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas or our famous chupe de camarones, and fall in love with the flavors of Peru. Visit Café de Martín, where every dish tells a love story. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
All right, we do have some contributions that we got to get to. Fine folks weighing in and divvying up some cash to do it. David Bardstown writes, if we don't care that Norvell's a good person, then we should go ahead and get Urban Meyer, ? Asking on behalf of Weinberg Sty.
So is that the kid he kicked?
Yeah.
Or the kicker here? He's talking about the kicker at Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's talking about the kicker at Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's I mean, it does matter. I mean, he's already gotten the benefit of that doubt, though.
Yeah,
he's gotten the grace he's going to get for being a good guy, because everybody does want to see him succeed. That's why Florida State did all the things they did in bringing in Gus and Tony and the staff and trying to kind of get things turned around. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, just because you want Mike gone doesn't mean you want to bring in Satan. So you can say, look, well, there's probably somebody in between we can find that will get some wins and not have to bring in Urban Meyer, who's a dreadful human being.
I think I would literally stop.
You'd probably stop coming.
Stop doing this.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Cody writes, if Jimbo was willing to come back for a heavily discounted rate so he can jump back into a top tier program, would FSU do it? No. I wouldn't mind it if they did, to be honest. That's right. That's what Cody said. Cody said, yeah. No,
that's not what Jeff is saying.
That's definitely not what Jeff is saying.
What if he guaranteed that he would keep Gus or go get an offensive coordinator you liked, and he would completely be hands off, not with the offense?
See, I don't get. I heard you saying this on Wake Up last week too. It's like you also are not paying attention to like his recruiting the last few years. Like, he had a good run. Those 2 or 3 years was great, but he also had some awful evaluations.
Well, they all do, but
I mean,
he loaded A&M with NFL flipping talent, and he loaded Florida State with NFL talent.
Nick Saban said he bought it all.
Well, for $3 million. Can you imagine? Like, he was upset that Nick Saban said he spent $3 million on that recruiting class. Like, man, that is for one player now.
Wasn't it sliced bread that said that?
That's unbelievable. Yeah. But I just think it's why I would be very, very intrigued with Franklin. I want guys that bring players, that identify stars, not just good college players, but NFL stars. Jimbo had a history of that. His offense was so bad, he was fired at Texas A&M. And look how much better A&M is now that he left. That's not a ringing endorsement of bringing in Jimbo Fisher. You know what I'm saying? Like, that program is now better after he left. But he did load it with really good players. And his offense is just dreadful. And it has been dreadful for a decade.
And interpersonal skills were a challenge.
Who cares? Who cares?
It matters.
If you get players here, I don't care about your interpersonal skills. They at least played tough most of the time. His Texas A&M teams were tough. They just were horrible on offense because of him. And if he could have an ego or if he could get rid of an ego enough.
He thinks Gus's offense is ridiculous. He
well,
hates those offenses.
Does he still?
But
that defies belief now that he would still think that after what he did.
I would be in favor of him going in and getting different. I don't love Gus's offense.
Sure. But I'm saying Jimbo's offense was ridiculous.
No. This is a preposterous conversation. We're not bringing in Jimbo Fisher.
What about Franklin? What about Franklin?
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one.
You guys are crazy.
I'm not with you at all on that one.
They won 2 playoff games last year. They won 34 games in 3 years. And he had 33 draft picks in 5 years.
Imagine what he must be to work with that now he got fired 10 months later.
Don't care. Get him a quarterback. My man's 5-time national champ.
Is he the first? I think I read that right. Is he the first coach to helm a team that lost as a 20-point favorite in back-to-back weeks since like 1947?
Maybe ever. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was.
Like 1947.
Hey, man, imagine having a team that was a 20-point favorite in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. No,
you got to do something there.
He does a real good job of beating everybody who's not any good.
Well, look, they said the same thing about Bobby Bowden until they didn't. He couldn't win the big game until he couldn't.
There a minute, man. Come on now.
It's 11 years.
It's 11 years,
He has had 6 10-win seasons, and I don't see how you could say he can't win the big game when he won 2 playoff games.
No.
He recruited Abdul Carter, and he recruited Saquon Barkley. And
with
Micah
all
Parsons.
of that talent, he can never beat Michigan and Ohio State. He's 1-14 against them, right? He also
no, that can't be true.
He's won once against those 2 teams.
Michigan hasn't even been good
correct, Corey. Correct.
No way he's 1-14.
Correct. Yes,
no way.
Correct.
I think he's 1-14 against like top 5 teams or something.
Or top 10 teams, whatever.
Yeah,
it might
it's not
be.
Michigan.
But his overall, he's 4-24 against the best.
Yeah, it's
best
not great.
in that league. It's terrible.
It's not great.
It's terrible.
Get him some Florida athletes and see what he looks like.
No, man.
Right?
He's had plenty of talent. They have NFL players on that roster. Also,
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
To Ira's point, though, apparently he is not
a great
dude.
Well, maybe he learned a lesson. Maybe he learned a lesson. He come here a little bit humbled, just like Jimbo would be a little bit humbled.
Like
humble.
Legitimately, those 2 guys.
After watching this for the last 6 years, I want somebody that will bring great players into this program.
Sure.
Those 2 guys would do that. Now, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of awful baggage that goes with both of them probably. But I don't want to go get a guy from the MAC or a South Florida guy that you have no idea can bring in real talent. Because we just lived that life. I want a guy that can go and recruit and develop and evaluate guys that will be playing on Sundays.
But it's like you ignore some of the
I don't ignore it. I just put up with it.
Well, no, I'm saying, but like you ignore that Jimbo signed all those guys that played in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Like those were all the guys.
I'm not ignoring
signed.
it. He completely took a dip here, but then he went to A&M and they loaded up.
They were doing NIL before anybody else.
God bless him.
Yeah, but
he's ahead of the curve.
He had every resource known to mankind, and they failed miserably outside the COVID year.
I would not want to. I don't think it's a good idea to bring in Jimbo Fisher. Probably not a good idea to bring in James Franklin. But I don't want to go.
The point you're making is about recruiting.
You got to go get
guys. That's why this
guys.
guy's going to get fired. But there are other people that can recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's also changing.
But this is what's hard about hiring coaches, and this is where. You asked the question earlier, like, how do you feel about the people making these decisions?
Yes.
So if you fire somebody, who's going to make the hire? The problem is the coaches, the people that hiring the coaches don't know the position. Like they don't, that's the problem with this industry. And then why they get held hostage and why they don't want to ever lose a coach. Because if they got somebody that's pretty good, they don't want to lose them because they don't want to take any chances.
Jimbo Fisher, athletic director.
God.
No, but hold on.
Athletic director, he would make a good hire.
Well, hold on a second. Here's where you're not too far off base here. But not
the GM idea.
The GM.
Oh, sorry.
So this sport is going more and more towards being the NFL. It is absolutely imperative that you bring in an NFL-style GM who could act as AD, I suppose, if all your eggs are going to be in the basket of football, which they are here. And that guy decides to, it's a little bit of a different role than an NFL GM, and that you have more power in the sense that you're not answering to a coach at all. You're going to say, I'm hiring the coach, and I'm also assessing the recruiting, everything we're doing here. I'm in charge of so you bring in Martin Mayhew. There's a good example.
Right.
A guy who's done it, right? He's had to evaluate, had to draft, put together, and figure out how to divvy up the money on the roster, where we're spending.
And wanted to be the AD here, but they hired Randy Spett.
Right. So, okay. Right. So anyhow, that could happen, right? You bring in a guy like that, and then you say to him, all right, let's set up the operation to operate at peak efficiency like an NFL operation. You're in charge. Who are the guys you're bringing in, and what are we doing? How are we allocating our money? Salary cap wise, we can stop spending 40% of what we have on tight ends. and maybe look a little elsewhere on the roster.
Yeah.
You know, and like that kind of stuff.
Well, look, as Ira wrote, it is becoming an NFL model, and the coaching salaries are outrageous. It makes no sense. It makes no sense in this world.
Shorter deals, less money.
Yeah, man, and less buyout money. It just makes no sense. Like there's no NFL. Like I pointed out to you, right now it would be like Andy Reid making $130 million a year because he's paid twice as much as his quarterback. That just doesn't make sense.
Right.
The players win games.
The players make the money.
But it's been so backwards in the sport for so long that hopefully there'll be a course correction. And I also think GMs, like the difference is, can the GM fire a coach in college? Could the college GM fire the head coach?
Well,
in the NFL, they can.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out because like right now you have some of these mixed marriages. Like at Cal, they had a head coach. They brought in Ron Rivera as the GM.
Right.
And when we were at ACC kickoff, people were asking Wilcox, the coach,
who we
about
like
Rivera. And he's like, well, I still run the football program. And I'm like,
sure?
why's Ron Rivera here at ACC kickoff?
Yeah.
And so
he did this in the league, but
But when you see these changes, I think it'll be a clean cut. And man, I think that's the way to go. I really think that's the way to go because the problem.
But who do you get? There's nobody that's done this yet.
He's a great option,
but he doesn't know the college game. Like
I don't know. To me, it's about running an organization and hiring the right coaches.
I think it's about identifying talent and guys that can play.
But
you know what I
don't
mean?
you think that Mayhew would be good at both?
Probably. I'm just saying he's never done it. He's never had to go look at a 17-year-old.
We got another hour to go on the show. We'll get to questions. We'll continue
lots of questions, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if we got a Facebook prompt.
There's always a Facebook prompt.
Seminole headliner questions coming up. Stay with.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life, your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together? You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service, and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Services, comfort's just a call away.
222-7722. AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too.
222-7722. Parker Services, comfort's just a call away.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away.
Parker Services, comfort's just a call away.
Florida license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a
This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Jaguars look to shake off that 20-12 loss to Seattle on Sunday. They are 3-point underdogs against The Los Angeles Rams at Wembley Stadium in London on Sunday morning. Puka Nacua sprained ankle for the Rams, 54 catches, 616 yards, and 2 touchdowns this season. He leads the NFL in receptions and in first downs with 33. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night, 4.5-point underdogs at the Detroit Lions. Florida Gators, 8.5-point home favorites at Mississippi State on Saturday. Florida State, 17.5-point favorites at Stanford. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
When it's time to honor a life well lived, trust Cornerstone Memorials. Experts in creating meaningful memorials with generations of care and craftsmanship. We help you create a lasting tribute to your loved ones. Cornerstone Memorials creates custom designed headstones, mausoleums, detailed stone engraving, and more. Visit cornerstonememorials.org or call today to speak with a compassionate expert. Cornerstone Memorials, honoring life and preserving legacy.
Still waiting on that load of laundry to finish? If your dryer is taking forever to dry your clothes, the problem might not be your machine. It could be a clogged dryer vent. J. Walker Enterprises specializes in professional dryer exhaust cleaning, improving dryer efficiency and helping protect your home from a potential fire hazard. Don't risk it. Contact J. Walker Enterprises today and breathe easier knowing your home is safer and your clothes will finally dry on time. Visit jwalkerenterprises.com, the company locals trust.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, headliner questions coming your way. But first, we say thanks to Dr. Birch and Birch Orthodontics, who have been ride or die even through
thick and thin.
Thick and thin
up
indeed.
and down,
Yeah.
wins and losses.
Man. Crooked teeth, straight teeth.
Doesn't matter. She's there. They're there. That office is there for you. Cold water, television.
The water, that's it.
Very
that's
comfortable.
The big selling point.
Lobby.
That's where she got me, Corey.
The cold
First
water,
time we walked in there, we sat down, had the consultation, which you can have a free consultation. You know,
While you drink that cold-ass water.
You go in, and that's not even why you went in. But all of a sudden, you get a cold bottle of water in the fridge.
Delicious.
And you start talking about Florida State football. But they do tremendous
And that's
work.
like a slap in the face. That's cold water on your face.
A splash.
How'd that feel?
Yeah, get you some of that.
But Dr. Birch is awesome. All of our kids and stepkids and friends' kids have all gone there to get their orthodontic work and braces and
Most of the
Invisalign.
strangers that we don't know.
A lot
have
of
also
strangers
been there.
too.
A lot
Yeah.
of strangers.
And a
have
lot
been
of superstars,
Yeah.
celebrities,
Yeah.
famous people.
Forget
People
about it.
you know, household names.
Yeah.
Their kids, their famous kids are going there as well.
That's correct.
But no, Dr. Birch does a tremendous job, and it is they've got all the different new technologies. Dr. Birch has also been in this community for over 20 years, so you're getting somebody who pours back into the community. I always get stories from teachers in town who say that Dr. Birch's office sent over lunch to the teachers, and they sponsor different awards, and they do so many things to give back, which is awesome, and great customer service as well. So if you have any orthodontic needs, or you think you might be a difficult case, you just want some information, some guidance,
that's good.
go to birchorthodontics.com. That's the website, and get your free consultation.
I'm going to rapid fire the contributions that I didn't get to last hour before we start the headliner questions in earnest, meaning Twitter and Facebook. Here we go. Never Again said, here's my donation. Use it towards food, drink, and a buyout or Halloween.
Halloween, nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Use it to buy candy or buy out the football coach.
There you go. I don't care if he finishes. Jeffrey Hill writes 8-4 because I'm tired of finishing and recruiting outside the top 10. You're not going to build a national title contender that way. Yep. 954 Legend writes, trying to put my 2-month-old to sleep while listening to you guys and Corey with the, well, go get Kirby. Almost ruined my efforts. Love you guys. Yeah. And Roof One Restoration writes, did anybody listen to Brian McFadden's rant on CBS post-game, post-pit game? If not, do yourself a favor, go listen to it. I did. I heard it. Yeah.
He's a little hot.
He's a little pissed off, man.
And a lot of
when we were former players are with good reason.
That's what I was going to say when we were doing the little, just all the different constituents who have right and reason to be upset.
Skin in the game.
The former players, obviously,
have a whole bunch of it.
Are big ones.
Yes.
And again, I go back to the conversation I had with a very prominent former player during the summer, and I made the comment about, it's weird how the fan base is turned on him. He's like, yeah, man, they went 2-10.
Yeah.
And this is a person that likes Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
But he's like, man, this
and
is Florida State.
And if I could give Jordan Travis any piece of advice, just stay off social media. I get what he's doing.
He's trying to protect his guy.
And it's commendable. It truly is.
Yeah,
but
it's not going to work for him.
It doesn't work out well, and it kind of makes the Florida State fans maybe start to resent you, and they shouldn't, because Jordan Travis was so big for this program and was so good for this program, and they love him. But don't die on that hill. Like you're a Florida State Seminole before you're a Mike Norvell football player.
Well, what's interesting is the from a player's perspective, the way they're coached their whole life is like Mickey Andrews used to say, if you got held, it's a personal problem.
Yeah, it's a you problem.
Or if you're hurt, you got to play through it. Or, there's the mindset of, we don't want to hear excuses. We deal in results. That is the part of the fabric of elite athletes, certainly college football players. So when they see these results, you see an Antonio Cromartie get on Twitter. You see Brian McFadden's rant. You see these guys who feel like they understood that things had to be upheld. And then when it's not happening, they don't care. They don't care that the quarterback got hurt on the first play. They don't care that the receiving core is down. They don't care that it's the first year for this defensive coordinator. They don't care. They just want this team to be good because they believe it should be good.
You've certainly probably heard David Sampson interviewed many times, down South Florida. One thing he talked about as president of operations with the Marlins was that he was like, look, man, over the years, it took a lot for me to understand this, but people didn't care that we were hamstrung by certain salary issues. And when we had guys get hurt, we're not the Yankees. We can't just go fill that spot with another guy for $50 million that's going to give us the production of the player that just got hurt. And he goes, and in the end, it used to bother me, but ultimately I realized it's true. You can never have that as an excuse to fall back on. You're not a victim. You better find a way to produce, and the great ones do. They find a way. Not meaning, you can't overcome breaking your leg, but you have got to have an organization that's built in such a way that when there are, obviously, the war of attrition that is football, injuries, you've got to have a team that's capable of filling those spots and playing competent football. You can't spiral out of control because a few guys got hurt. They look like buffoons for an entire stretch. Basically, Gus in the second half was like, I'm just going to run the ball straight up the middle because I can't do anything else.
And my quarterback can't run.
Well,
so we're done.
And then, by the way, then late when it's already over, you hit the bench route. I'm like, where the hell was that for the last hour,
maybe Dancy told me he didn't want to play the third quarter most of the fourth.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
That's just incompetence. Like that people are going to be pissed no matter what about that, and they should be. This can't look like that ever for any reason. And I completely get it. Salty Chris Fowler says, gentlemen, please let us know how you feel about the prospect of a balmy, humid Shreveport on December 30th. A handful of sweaty Bally's Casino chips for the new year, boys.
Yeah, right across the street from Larry Flint's Hustler Club.
Lord willing, like I think we'd all take a bowl game at this point.
Shreveport?
Dude, any bowl game.
I'm not going. I shouldn't have gone to the Orange Bowl. I'm not going to.
You can't go back to the Shreveport.
Well, that's true. I'm not welcome back.
This is an interesting question and a fair one, and some people were wondering about this watching the game. Tony says, well, wait a minute. If Gus said Tommy's hurt, if that's true and he can't use the greatest asset he has, why are we running him out there?
Well, he did. It's not like he was horrible throwing the ball. I think they trust him to run the offense. But, yes, you're losing and I still think Tommy not being able to run is probably better against that defense than throwing Sperry out there with no receivers to throw to. Maybe. I mean, maybe Sperry can run, though.
Sperry can run.
But maybe he runs at a elite level against a team like that has some linebackers that can go.
Yeah. My point was in that third quarter where they just ran it every single down. It's like, man,
that was pointless. You're right.
You might as well go to the back.
Yeah.
Then
You might as well have done the Wildcat. Just
Yeah.
do the Wildcat with Danzy or something.
Well, I was clamoring for them to get him out at that point.
By
I'm
the
like, if he's
way-
that hurt, then get him out.
Was Narduzzi trolling them by using Deucepan and the Wildcat and
Oh, I'm
having them run up the middle?
100%. You could have done that with anybody on the team.
I mean, I know. Hey,
and Deuce is fast.
Lakewood's
own
former quarterback.
Easy
So
killer.
I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If you're just going to run a stretch or something, but you just run him up the middle, all 180 pounds of him, and he gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, and Narduzzi had some things to say after that game too, which
Also-
speaks to, again, like, why are we talking smack to opposing teams?
Well, but did you see their celebrations after the game?
Yeah.
The photos?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
They're in the end zone posing like they won the Orange Bowl. It's
Don
crazy.
Juan,
Like
one
they
of the
beat an unranked Florida State team.
Yeah, one of the photographers, he shoots for Getty, Don Juan, you
Yeah.
guys know him. He sent me his pictures. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because when the game ends, like we're putting stuff online, then we're going down to the press conference. I didn't realize Pitt celebrated like they won the Orange Bowl. That was crazy.
I would take whoever's
Narduzzi's
playing
in the
Pitt
middle
this
of it.
week.
Narduzzi's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then May's talking trash. Because he was mad because he felt like FSU's players were talking
Well,
trash.
they were before the game, and that pissed him off. And I would just say, why are we talking trash to anybody? We're just not good enough to do that, man. And also, they were 10-point underdogs, so they're like, F you, get you some, boys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal. So Lane says, well, considering how these last 2 weeks have gone, Tony's no longer a candidate for the UCLA job.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
that a good thing? Question mark.
I mean, I don't doubt his acumen, right?
I don't at all.
And
He doesn't have the personnel, and I think he put too much on their plate.
Yeah, all that to be said. I don't know. He's not going to be here if the head coach isn't here. So, I mean, you're going to have to buy everybody out. I do believe in the guy as the defensive coordinator. I'd like to see what he could do with another year of getting his type of players in here. I think it says a lot that the Desir twins play about as much as anybody on the team, in the front seven anyway. And they're the one guys.
Ideal.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's like those are his guys. Those are the guys that he kind of wanted and brought in. So they've been productive for the most
they
part.
were committed to Florida State.
No, but like he could have said, go somewhere else. We don't want you if you don't fit my system.
Yeah,
I
and he
think likes
definitely
them.
identified them when he got here. I mean, he's been talking about them since day one. No, there's some things I like about Tony White, but man, again, going back to results, teams have been ridiculous on defense in different ways.
Yeah.
But just not close to good enough.
It's so
But you did
Now,
like
they have
the-
played, I would
they've
say
had
this,
moments.
and they've had to play good quarterbacks. They
Yes.
have played good quarterbacks. The quarterback for Pitt may end up being really, really good. He also threw some balls that I think may end up getting picked. Some crazy throws he made. He tried and attempted. Kid's got no fear right now, and it's working to his advantage. But again, you're judged on the results. You can't get stops.
And you can't keep your discipline in a rush lane. And so you just open the field up for him to do whatever he wants.
Did you laugh a little bit when the ball was slapped out of his hand and the most important play of the
And it
game?
just bounces
to a
off
Pitt
him.
wide receiver?
Right to him,
For
almost like a
for another
maze.
10 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, not only was it to a player, it was forward another 10 yards.
Yeah, another 10 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. Kinds of things that happen when you suck.
That's unfortunate, but it's also like, there was the end of a huge
And
play,
also, why
and
was
it
he 30 yards in the middle of the field with nobody near him? Credit to Earl Little for knocking it out there.
Running like the wind blows, that young man was, buddy. All right, gentlemen, that escalated quickly. Will the roll up injury in the Kent game be the biggest play of the year? If Kevin Sperry is a faster Christian Ponder, does he get more out of this offense if we play him?
I don't know that he's a faster Christian Ponder. I think he's elusive. He's shiftier.
He's
for
very
sure.
shifty.
Yeah.
We saw him in
but
the scrimmage.
he is not like he's not Michael Vick. He ain't that kind of fast.
Nobody is projecting him to be
That
Michael
Pitt
Vick.
quarterback is Michael Vick.
But he appears to be
Every quarterback that faces Florida State.
So Michael can't stop him.
Like,
He's twitchy. He's too twitchy. He's just electric.
Yeah, he's not a we don't know how willing of a runner he is in football. Like we've seen him in practice.
Oh yeah,
where he's wearing green jersey and they're not going to hit him. So you'd have to see what it looks like when he's getting hit. But in terms of like elusiveness and running, yeah, man, he's got it. And if that's what the offense is going to be, then if you don't have any receivers, I'd rather see somebody who's healthy and willing at quarterback than somebody who's maybe not.
Dick says pulling for Norvell, but if moves are made, Ira Chaffel, to your point, GM Jeff Purinton,
right?
Head coach Chris Winkie.
Okay. Yeah.
Bonus T. Lizzie and Jeff Cameron show. If anybody has Saban's ear, it's Purinton. Reach out to him. Corey Clark, see at the CP. That's
okay.
That's
so
it.
Purinton gets hires Saban.
Yeah. So the people that don't know, Jeff Purinton used to be in the sports information office here. He became an assistant athletic director at Alabama, became an athletic director at Arkansas State, and now he's very high up in IMG, I think, or the Learfield, whatever the company is that does the marketing for all the college programs now. So he's become an executive now, and he's been an athletic director. So, yeah, that's not a crazy thought.
I like Jeff. I've known Jeff for a long, long time. I was doing the PA for baseball when he was the baseball SID way back when, and it's crazy for me to just wrap my head around that.
Where his career is gone. But yeah, he's like, I mean, he's an executive of that company, which is a huge company.
Tom writes, so this means we're not getting the baseball stadium, doesn't it? But seriously, FSU is 54-49 since 2017. Norvell is failing, but the failure goes beyond him. You can't be 1-10 in the conference you sued. It's affecting the brand, and it will affect all sports. Fix it. Writes Tom. Yeah.
Agreed.
Not really a question.
No,
but agreed.
Just observational. Considering the lack of defensive output since the Bama game, is Tony White the next head coach at UCLA? Writes Charles. Walter says, good afternoon, winners.
Thanks, Walter.
FSU's 9-3 season begins this weekend.
That's right, 10-3, really.
Which is the better bet to make? FSU to beat the point spread or take the over on the total points scored for the game? Well, what is the number? I didn't even look this week. I was so disgusted. Yeah,
I'm not it's sure. Like 18 was the spread. I don't know what the total was.
I can look that up in a moment. We'll come back and answer
Probably not
that.
Super high, judging by that Stanford offense.
FSU lost 10 games by an average of over 20 points per game last year.
Yeah.
This year, 3 losses by a total of 17. Last year's high school recruiting class appears to be the best of Norvell's time.
Yep.
If we finish with the preseason expectation of 7-8 wins, why spend money on buyouts?
Yep. So again, it is very nuanced. It is not just cut and dry. They don't win enough, fire them. If they are better than they were last year. Does that matter? Not to most people because they're losing. But this team would beat last year's team by 3 touchdowns.
Well, they're better on offense.
Yeah, well, that's a big deal. That's half the game.
It is.
And they're just as good as they were on special teams. So they're right there. They're staying even there. By the way, the Weinberg kid, I mean, he's making his kicks, and some of them are big. He made that kick to put him up 24-21. I didn't think he was going to make it. Good credit to him.
I thought he'd make it.
Well, I don't know why I didn't. I was like, of course, the way this thing is going, the way this season is going, he's going to shank this thing. No, he made it.
Yeah,
so he's been good. But yeah, 8-4, is it good enough? The better question is, do you believe this guy can get you to an elite status again?
No, I don't even think that's the question, though, man.
But it has to be, right?
Because you owe him $60 million, $50 million. So to me, it's what we said before. But
next year you're going to owe him $40 million.
Right.
That's not chump change either.
$10 million is a lot of money.
Well, yeah, but it's still a lot of money.
$40 million and $50 million.
But you're putting yourself a year behind making the correction.
But my point was, and this is what we had this conversation all offseason.
What
was
hard.
The point of this year was get good enough that you can at least get more players in and be attractive, and then get some stability and hitting in the right direction. So if it doesn't work next year, now you're paying them less and you're in a better position. So like it's not where you necessarily want to be, but maybe it's just heading in the right direction for later to make a move.
I think too, they're weighing, like, you realize how busy the coaching market already is.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be. There's 3 schools that fire their coach every Sunday.
Every week there's another batch, and we presume if Florida keeps losing, there'll be another one, and that's a big time job. And I'm kind of curious where you think you sit with all of that, and who are the people you're going to be competing for and against to bring in those coaches, and can you get them? Whom are their ties to? You know, it's fascinating.
But the other challenge there is that's going to be the case next year too. I mean, this is never ending. This is what it's going to be every year now because the money's so big. But goes again back to my point is I just think at some point this thing has to reset. Like, this market has to reset. And if you're Florida State and you do make a change, then go for it. Be brave. Try to do so. Somebody has to be the first ones to do it.
Not be brave to pay $12 million to Kiffin. You're talking about.
No,
you're saying be brave to reset the coaching market.
So if you reset let's just say you did this.
And I'm not saying, and somebody was like, "Oh, so you're going to hire some no name from Valdosta and pay him $1 million?" No, that's not what I'm saying. But you can find somebody who's a proven coach that's doing really well.
I'm going to give you an example.
One of those top 10 guys.
So if you hired Alex Golesh from USF, let's just use him as an example. He's in your backyard. He beat Florida in Gainesville. He's got them on the cusp of winning the American Conference and going to the playoff at USF in year 3. He's clearly a good coach. He's doing a good job.
Sounds like what his predecessor did before he got here.
So the point would be, let's just say you hired that guy because you don't have to pay him $10 million. You don't have to pay him $8 million. You might be able to pay him $5-6 million, right? Let's just say.
Right.
Or somebody like like him, if that makes you feel better. So you bring that guy in. What you're advocating for is like, look, that's a 3-year deal. No crazy buyout, none of that nonsense.
Jimmy Sexton doesn't even have to be involved in this conversation.
And then you take the money you're saving and you pour it in to bring in great players.
Yeah.
And you revamp your
or a great GM. You completely restructure the whole pyramid of leadership in a football program needs to be shifted a little bit.
Well, one of the problems that we're going to continue to harp on is
according to the database, the salary database from USA Today, Golesh makes about $2.5 million.
So you'd pay him $5.
Again, I'm not. He's not the guy. He may not be the guy, but yeah, that idea.
I think you could pay him $3.
Because it's not about trying to just get somebody cheap. It's just not being on the hook for $50 million.
Yeah,
so if the guy doesn't work out, you don't have to get bent over.
That's the problem.
Yeah. But he may be the guy. There weren't a whole hell of a lot of people clamoring for Kurt Signetti. Right. I mean, this guy's been in football for 40 effing years and nobody would hire him. He was at James Madison. Yeah. Indiana had to hire him. They couldn't get anybody else who had a name. They just went, let's bring him in. And they fell into it. And they got really lucky.
And you know what's interesting? It may not work at Penn State.
That's the other
part. It may not. It may not. Now, that's sure as hell working at Indiana.
Yeah, no question.
He has the win of the year.
I can't believe how fast they are on defense. I can't believe how they play like that on defense.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's annoying.
Go get Siggs.
It's annoying.
Go get Siggs.
But by the way, he's in his 60s.
I know.
Yeah,
yeah, he's 62 years old. It's crazy. He's older than Jimbo.
So Turk wants to know, if we lose to Stanford, does Norvell get tarmacked? That's funny. Yeah.
I think I don't think he gets tarmacked.
Well, not literally.
You think he could afford a flight back though? If he did,
I think he could.
I wouldn't.
I'd go to wine country if I was him. I'd hang out.
I would not let him talk to us on Monday. If he's, you know what I mean? Like he's going to be fired. Like he's going to be. Don't sit him up there. Like if you lose to Stanford, you might as well stay out there.
No, if he was going to get fired, I don't think they'd wait several days after a game like that.
You think it'd be Sunday, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
So let's just say that for the record.
And then Odell's still technically on the staff, so you got your interim already built in. That guy wins.
Do we believe that if he loses to Stanford, they will actually fire him in the season, Sunday or Monday?
It's hard to know. I mean, I wouldn't argue against it.
No,
gut instinct. What do you think they would do?
There's a decent chance.
Yeah, I think the precedent was set with the last coach. He got fired the day after a bad loss, and that was to Miami. I don't think there's any way you can come back from losing to Stanford. There's just none. It would help that it's at 1:30 in the morning and nobody sees it. So maybe it's like a tree falling in the forest. But yeah, I don't think there's any way. And also, I think it kind of shifts to the next game too. You lose at home to Wake, and you're 4-4. You're probably done there too. Like he's literally, I think, coaching for his FSU career. Then what if you offered him what if he was willing to restructure his contract?
I think you just kind of did that.
No, I mean, but like say, I'm tearing this up. You don't owe me $50 million.
That way.
I got 6 years for $30 million left.
No, but the problem is nobody wants him at $30 million. They don't want him at $10 million. Like if you're bad, if you're losing to Stanford and Pitt,
yeah,
and
I
Virginia,
don't care if we're paying you $1. You got to go.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But if he restructured it,
if they go 8-4 or 7-5 and he restructures his contract, it could happen.
You're living in a fantasy land.
Just
My man's going to walk away from all that money.
The guy cares.
No, he
cares about Florida State. He's trying to help out the Noles, man. Nobody cares more than him. Prove it, Mike. Take an 80% pay cut.
OG headliner Sean, I'll get this in before the break. For the second year in a row, we have a bad product on the football field. I would really encourage our fan base to throw their support behind our baseball team, which has been a consistent top 10 team, and a much better product on the diamond. And after Jeff's interview with Luke Laux, I'm really excited about the basketball team. Financially, we're stuck with Norvell for another year. Time to accept that fact. Hope to see everybody in Pensacola this week, and go Noles.
Yeah. They are good baseball. I went and watched them do a live scrimmage.
How'd that go?
On Friday? They're Trey Beard can pitch.
Well, they got a bunch of arms now.
They
That's
do.
The whole
now
thing.
He's there for a couple innings.
Yeah, that's what they went to go out and get this offseason. Well, some of it was because they had to.
And the kid they got from USC started off the game with a triple. I can't remember his name, but he was good at USC. And then the Eli Putnam kid had a hit too, and 107 miles an hour off the bat.
All right.
There you go. There's your little roundup observations.
Great job.
Thanks.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653. Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, gotta get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You gotta trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Budget Blinds of Tallahassee is your local window covering experts. They do it all: blinds, shades, drapery, shutters, even home automation. And they'll be there with you from the design to the measuring to the installation. Budget Blinds is with you every step of the way.
Hello, I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Let us help you with your unique window treatment needs. Call us at 668-4835 for a free in-home consultation, or find us online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 373031.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
I want to say hello and thanks. And oh, by the way, have you guys had yourself some Tavello?
It was awesome getting. It's got some tweets and people tweeting pictures of themselves enjoying their Tavello.
That is correct. I
at
got
Joe
some
Campbell
too.
Stadium. Yeah, man, that's a very cool development this season. Play on the field may not be what you want.
Yeah, they're 0-2 since they've been in the stadium, but that's not Tavello's fault.
I think Maurice would probably steer you in the right direction by saying you need more Tavello, not less Tavello.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly,
given the product on the field,
might be the best time to be selling beer.
I'm doubling down on Tavello. Like after the middle of the second quarter, where I saw where this was headed, even after the prayer, the stupid pass that was caught by Landon Thomas, I was like, "Oh, this is a joke. We're going to get beat," and I was ready to drink a lot of Tavello.
Nice play by Landon.
It's a good.
Can't blame him for it.
Yeah, it's a terrible decision by Tommy.
I think he maybe was trying to throw it away.
It's an awful.
I mean, he threw it up for grabs. Guy made a play.
Hey, I've got the 6'4" guy.
Let's reward that.
Take my chances.
I like this drawing it up in the sand offense.
Yeah, well, he's either that or take a sack. He threw it up.
Could throw it out of bounds.
It's fine. Or he could throw a touchdown and give his team a lead, only for them to come back.
Whether you like the play or not, go get your Tavello. Yeah, so it's in the south end zone in the main concourse. They have a stand there now for Tavello. You can get it. It's an IPA. That's what it's been the first 2 games. I'm not sure if it's ever going to change or if they're going to try different varieties there. Or
get that coffee in there, baby.
They should get the coffee blonde in there.
Yeah.
But you don't have to wait till the next home game. There's not another home game for a few weeks. Go to Tavello up there in Thomasville, just up the road of Tallahassee. If you're on the north side of town, it's basically around the corner. If you live on Bannerman or somewhere Cary
12 minutes away.
You're like 5 minutes away from Tavello.
Forget about it.
Go up there and they've got a bunch of nice restaurants in Thomasville, shopping, other things. But go into Tavello, tell them
Mike Norvell sent you.
And you may talk some FSU football. If you see Maurice and Lynn in there, they'll talk to you about some Knoll football. They care as well as you do.
Timothy made me laugh here. He says, can the 3 of you take a recruiting trip to Indiana and show Siggs how much you all have been a fan from the get-go?
From the jump.
And
we love
get
that
his
guy.
ass to Tallahassee. Now, here's what made me laugh. Hashtag, we've got scotch and broads, too.
Yeah, that's right. Lots of it. Lots of scotch.
Yeah, scotch and broads, too.
So not everybody that watches Seminole Headlines watches Coach Speak. And I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to be watching Coach Speak, which comes out once a week, usually on Thursdays.
Smash
on
it.
its own channel.
That's
right. Search for Coach Speak. You'll find it. But, yeah, so when Kurt Signetti got hired in his crazy initial press conference, I think it was the first one.
Google me?
Where he told everybody to Google
him. I win. That's what I do.
And he's
Google
doing the whole Dice Clay routine.
Oh,
It was so funny.
Shirt's unbuttoned. He's leaning on the dais and like a cigarette and a scotch, and you're set, buddy.
Yeah, so we had some good times with Siggs, but
holy cow.
He's
having some good time with the Hoosiers, too.
Yeah.
By the way,
rolling into Oregon.
Not really apropos of anything except maybe the snub. All the people that when Indiana lost in the playoff games, like, what are we doing here? Why are we watching this game? Right. Indiana shouldn't have been here. This should have been Alabama. Go F yourselves. Right. They had a bad night. They deserve to be there, and they're proving it this year. But it just boggles the mind that all these schools that aren't the SEC are they're up and coming. When they don't play well, that proves our point. Come on, man. Indiana deserved to be there. They were 11-1. I know they didn't play anybody. They were 11-1 and beat the tar out of most teams.
No, I had them in the playoffs as well because they were 11-1. It was a suspect 11-1.
But 11-1 is 11-1. Look around the country. There aren't many teams that win 11 games anymore, no matter what conference they're in. They deserved it. They had a bad night. That was not proof that they didn't belong.
And wasn't it at Ohio State?
No, that was Tennessee. Tennessee proved they didn't belong at Ohio State. Squirrel White's last playoff game.
Justin writes, I like Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
I can see where this is headed.
But I feel like a butt's coming.
The next word is but. When your only ACC win in over a year is in the courtroom, it might be time to go. I think Nick Saban could be intrigued by the FSU job. So were you listening yesterday when Tom and I were talking about this? We had fun with it.
Make Nick Saban say no.
Make him say no, Corey. Yeah. Make him say no.
And does he have any animals? If he has any pets, cut their heads off.
Why?
Well, leave one in his bed.
Like the Godfather.
Like the Godfather. I'm trying to use Ira's old references.
You're trying to threaten. I remember I've seen the Godfather, but I didn't know why you wanted.
I love Jeff's response is like, why is Corey a psychopath all of a sudden?
Why are we threatening Saban to get? We could just pay him. We could just pay him.
No. Well, you can always pay him, sure, but also let him know you mean business.
We don't start with the horse's head. We begin with an offer.
Imagine all the actors and actresses and people that accepted roles in that movie.
Yeah.
And they're reading the script. And they get to the point where
horse's head
in the bed.
Which is
that's a crazy ass thing to do.
Corey just wants to come out the gates without the offer. He's going to the offer that he can't refuse without ever giving him the offer.
Yeah, right.
Like you got to have the offer of like, hey, would you like the job?
He goes with the offer you can't refuse before the offer.
Before the offer.
Exactly right. He's going to do anything you want if he finds his horse's head in the bed with him. Because we'll keep escalating. What's in the bed next, Nick?
You're dead if you don't take the job.
It's going to be your
family members.
We're going to kill you.
No,
if you
it'll
don't
be
take
Nick.
The job.
The message is Nick's next.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill his family members. They didn't do anything wrong.
It would be hilarious if you like. I would love to be the one who makes that call. If you're Alfred or whatever, like, Nick, listen. You get offered a job every day. You probably have already been offered the Penn State job, no doubt.
Yeah.
How's that TV thing working? You like it?
I mean, you got to sit next to McAfee all the time. That's got to be annoying. Listen. Yeah. Let's do what you do, baby. Let's lead Florida State back to glory. And another statue is in your future. Imagine that. You got the one at LSU, you got the one at Alabama, and now one right here in Tallahassee after we
How do you say no?
And
you get to coach in the ACC.
And we'll give you $18 million per, because it's going to be well worth it to us to have a guaranteed successful program over the next 5 years. You're 73. Take it to 78. Call it a day, baby.
And also, do you have any horses? And where are your horses on the farm?
Hey,
Just out of curiosity.
If Aflac wants to help underwrite this, bring Dion.
Yeah.
Dion
he
can
can
come,
recruit.
yeah.
He can be a recruiter.
He can be a secondary
recruit
coach
for you.
Oh, man. What would be your requirements? What is a requirement for a successful season at this point? I know at the beginning of the year you guys said 8-4.
But we always couched it with how it looked. And I meant more about the games themselves, but it's kind of like how the season looks. And it seems like another spiral. It doesn't seem like you're in another spiral.
Yeah, I think the only thing to get you back to feeling somewhat positive about this program going into next year, not making any changes, is winning these 4 games you need to win and winning Florida or Clemson. I think you got to win one of those games. If you don't, if you're 7-5, I'm not saying he's definitely fired, but nobody's going to be feeling good about going into next year. If you can win 4, all those 4, and win, because you got to make up for the Virginia and Pitt games. And the only way you can do that is to win at Florida.
You got to be at Florida or at Clemson just to make people think, okay, well, look, man.
There's something here.
There's some bad losses this year, but we beat Alabama and Clemson.
And
we beat Alabama and Florida.
And you won 5 of your last 6 games.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And your losses were all, in the moment, defensible / justifiable. It's just 3 in a row is not defensible.
Yeah, I'm not.
I would argue Pitt's not.
I'd tell you Pitt's
Yeah,
not.
I'll give you your first
road
road
game. What if Pitt
game?
ends up 9-3? Like, Pitt might be a good team with this kid at quarterback.
I'm tired of saying that everybody that beats us is going to
It's
go
good.
on to be 9-3. We always just do that. But Virginia's really good.
Yeah, people were doing it with Georgia Tech last year. It's like,
I mean, Pitt's great, guys. They were all banged up at the beginning. They changed
But I'm
quarterbacks. They're going to
saying,
be great.
when you do look back at the season, and if Pitt, Virginia, and Miami are your 3 losses, and granted, you might have 1 or 2 more coming down.
Yeah.
And one of them is number 1 in the country, and the other 2 are like 8 or 9 win teams, and you lost all of them by a touchdown or less. You do look like, oh man, you're really close. That's how you can trick yourself into keeping someone that maybe should. You know what I'm saying?
But he's going to need to win one of those 2 games.
Yeah, well, he needs. Yes, he does. But I think if he does,
you're back in.
Especially if he takes that pay cut.
Marlon writes, "Good day, gents. What must be done eventually should be done immediately." Man, that's the anti-procrastination mantra, Marlon. Good job, buddy. I say that to myself, and yet I still don't get up off the couch. I'm like, I know that kitchen needs a good cleaning. It's going to need it before this weekend when my dad comes to town. I'm doing nothing right now at 6:30 on a Tuesday. I should clean.
The worst is the trash.
It's got to be done.
The trash pickups comes in our neighborhood on Wednesday mornings.
Mine comes on Tuesday,
So tonight, I've got to get out there by the curb.
Got to get it
done. But if I don't get it out there by like 10 or 10:30, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be rolling those things out there at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night. I'll do it early in the morning.
Corey wouldn't do it because he's afraid of the dark.
But then you hear that truck coming in the neighborhood, and now you got to race to get your trash out to the curb. When I could have just done it at 8 o'clock.
Boxers.
Like my neighbors across the street.
You could have done it when you got home today. You could have just done it.
Maybe I will. What needs to be done
eventually should be done immediately. Get off your ass.
He was talking
Ira.
to me.
Yeah.
I think he might have been talking to Michael Alford, but it could have been to you about your trash. I don't know. Maybe he needs to specify.
He might
have been talking about taking out the trash.
He goes on to write, so when do we get the coaching hot board, and does the shirtless professor make a comeback? Love the show.
Yeah, people are tweeting him again last weekend.
Who?
The guy who was reading the book up in the stands.
Yeah, see, that was 59-3. That's what's the problem here is you can talk yourself into them being 5-1. They're a couple of plays away from being 5-1, and compared to what they were last year, that is a huge improvement. But you know what? I know 1-10 in their last 11 ACC games.
I'm done twisting myself.
I know, but you have to do all this pretzel twisting. It's like, God, dog, man, just start winning some games.
Win a freaking ACC game.
You're not playing in the
ACC
NFC
game.
North. It's the ACC.
You have a win over Cal 14-9, and a kid missed 3 field goals. That's your only ACC win. And God, dog it.
They did make Mendoza look average.
They did.
They played well against him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Indiana didn't want any.
Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
Development for a new Buc-ee's is one step closer to becoming a reality in Tallahassee. Leon County Commissioner Rick Miner confirming that the gas station is still in the early stages, but proceeding without any major issues. The land slated to house the gas station is Park Place PUD on the west side of Capitol Circle Northwest, north of I-10. The 73-acre site would house the 75,000 square foot facility. The parcel acquisition is nearly complete, and the anticipated groundbreaking date is Q1 of 2026. Buc-ee's will need to submit site plans for review. The county will then schedule a public hearing, giving the public a chance to give their input. The new development brings 200 full-time jobs. Entry-level hourly wages start at $16 an hour up to $32 an hour. Managerial positions with salaries ranging up to $100,000. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 86. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight, lows around 61. Clear skies tomorrow, high of 84. Bright sunshine Thursday with a high of 85. 83 Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 84 degrees.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Hello, Vishal. He writes, guys, my son and I will be at the Stanford game this weekend, rooting the Noles on.
There you go. So will Ira.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I thought you were going.
Well, my son plays a game on Friday night on the road, and so it would have been.
Is it in California?
No, but it would have.
That would have been convenient.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours away. What has happened to the world of high school sports? We're
tough in the
games
Panhandle,
2 and 3
man.
hours away, man. Come on.
My son's teams are all 9 minutes away
Of
because he
course
lives
they
in
are.
Gwinnett County.
Well,
so.
It's like growing up in Tampa and St. Pete.
Yeah.
Like you play a team right down the road. There's 8 of them.
nothing 9 minutes away from anything in Atlanta.
Sorry, 9 miles.
I was going to say
9 miles.
In 90 minutes.
Yes, correct.
yeah.
9 minutes.
Anyhow, he's going to be there. Yeah, and I Palo Alto is beautiful. That Stanford campus is awesome. Enjoy yourself. But
Yeah, I can't wait.
You're going to be in and out, right?
No, we're spending 5 days. Kim's coming 6
buddy.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 days, 5 nights.
Son of
It's an
a
off
bitch,
week
you.
afterwards.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing it up big.
You going to
San
go wine
Francisco.
country? You going to do
Yeah,
it?
I think we're going to do a little.
Look at that.
We're going to do Yosemite. Well,
Look
here's
at this.
Yeah, we'll talk off air. But yeah, so there's a tour to go to Yosemite where they take you on a bus and then they do like a guided tour there. But it's like 15 hours.
Ooh.
I don't know, but Yosemite would be cool.
It'd be
I've never
really
been.
cool.
So we'll see. The national park where the redwoods are is
I've been there.
closed because
Muir
they're shut
Woods
down.
isn't open?
Yeah, it's closed because
Oh,
of the
man.
shutdown.
Well, climb in there, man. How are they going to keep you out?
That's a heartbreaking
They-
turn of events.
I did read you can hike into the back of it. It's the front that's shut down.
You may want to think
Sounds
about
like
it.
something you do. Hike into the back of it.
That's what I was like. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Now.
I didn't mean it like that.
Muir Woods. Say, hey, buddy, they're on vacation, but easy.
Muir Woods? Is that what you're saying?
Muir Woods is fantastic, though. You really,
I'd like to. Yeah, maybe it'll shut down will end by then.
Go over there, Red River, the brewery, man, and get you a Pliny the Elder. That's a
yeah.
Oh, there's some things.
Yeah, it's
good area. Anyhow, he says, I heard Jeff and Tom talk about the importance of a GM. Is there any particular we should be going after? We really didn't narrow it down. It's a new world. We'd have to start really opening up the possibilities. And I did, I mentioned a former Knoll, but Martin Mayhew. But I
listen, here's the thing. I do like the idea of whenever it happens. Or if Mike Norvell turns it around, and maybe that's something you want to do anyway.
Well, I think it is something you need to do.
But I do like the idea of having somebody with some business acumen. I think that's important. And then you talk about the salary cap structure. There's a lot of things going on there. In fact, somebody that used to be a CFO at Florida State, Greg Phillips, and he used to run IMG. He's now he's doing this at Mississippi State. They hired him to run basically salary cap and all that for the whole athletics department.
But that can't be the GM, though. You got to find somebody that knows.
No, I mean,
football.
What I'm saying is they're reinventing the operation is important.
But you got to get somebody that can identify and evaluate talent. That's number one. I don't need a bunch of 3 stars in the rough.
All right, so here you go.
I don't need diamonds in the rough. I need diamonds in diamonds.
Well, here you go. So
that makes sense, right? That's a saying that people.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
BFG says, would we want Tommy back next year if he had the extra year of eligibility given this variance? And then he says, secondly, and this is the part you're going to want to talk about, instead of replacing Mike, couldn't we replace Derek Ray? Bring in a Jimbo to replace Derek Ray and evaluate the talent.
If Jimbo would be somebody like Jimbo, look, man,
that. By the way, the sentiment there is not bad.
Right, but who's telling who what to do?
Does
Jimbo tell Norvell you are absolutely offering this, and then Norvell's
I'm done asking Mike to evaluate.
Well,
talent.
right, but who pays who Jimbo says we'll pay any there's a lot of I don't know, just conversations that would have to go on if you're like that kid's awesome. He wants $700,000. Well, he ain't worth a penny over $500,000. Who's making those decisions?
And you're going to a world now where you say, okay,
weird.
You're not going to be the play caller. You're not going to run one side of the ball. You're
you
also
do?
not going to evaluate your own talent. It's like, okay, well, so
we're having to do a lot to prop your ass
you
up.
$10 million a year. Yeah. So, but as far as Derek Ray goes, listen, I nobody knows how that operation works. I contend that the general manager, the way it's set up here right now, is more of an administrative role. I don't think Derek Ray is telling Mike Norvell, this guy can play and this guy can't. Like Mike Norvell's the PR director, just like Jimbo is the PR director. Personal, he's the
not public relations.
But the player evaluation personnel.
Yeah.
So
Mike is.
I don't think
recruiting.
Firing somebody that works for Mike Norvell solves your problems in terms of player development.
Yeah, you would just go fire Mike.
Mike Norvell's the one who,
Mike Norvell might be holding Derek Ray back.
Right.
Derek Ray might be
Derek
saddled.
Ray is listening to this right now. There it is.
finally
He's
somebody
the
recognized
GIF on the couch. He just jumped up and pointed to the TV.
I mean, you have a recruiting. David Johnson is ostensibly the recruiting director.
Yeah.
You've got a recruiting coordinator. You have a whole recruiting staff.
Hey, buddy, anybody associated with recruiting right now?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They all got to go, but that's ultimately under Mike. So you're saying stop with the nonsense. Don't worry about slashing them. Slash that dude.
Well, if that's your thing.
Yeah. Kristen writes, gents, I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but I think we all know where this is headed. Whenever Mike is inevitably fired, who do you think will be the interim head coach, and or who would we want it to be? Well, see, I mean, at this point,
interim, it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
It could be Malzahn. I would think
it
can't be Odell, right? Because he's not even really.
No, it could be Odell. Because they don't have limits on coaches anymore. He's
technically
associate head coach.
I guess you go back to that well again. I mean that's almost too embarrassing.
I feel very strongly Gus will want that job.
And I also think it's too embarrassing to have a guy that's been an interim coach 3 different times in your program. That's just weird. That's weird and not normal. Don't do that.
Oh, it's the bridesmaid.
Yeah, but just like that's, and he has a good record as the interim coach. It's like, don't do that to him again. No. Yeah, get Gus, Tony,
whomever.
Well, you couldn't do Tony based on the way the defense has played so far.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that?
What
Gus respond to? You're going to answer to the guy who's giving up 40 points a game.
Yeah.
I've seen a few folks on the FSU beat question if Alfred should be the one making the next head coaching hire. I'll stop there because there's another part of this, but that's always going to happen because the most important coach that a AD hires is the football coach. And if there is some wavering belief in the athletic director,
he didn't hire.
No, he didn't. But I'm saying if you don't believe in the athletic director long-term, you wouldn't want him making a football decision as big as this. So even though he's not responsible for Norvell, would you want him to be responsible for the next major hire, an all-important hire? There are people who do not want Michael Alford to make that hire. I know of some. Listen, there's a lot that goes into that. This is a different conversation to have altogether, but there are plenty of people who are fine with it because Alfred's done a good job with the soccer coach and the baseball coach. We'll see if Luke Locks ends up being a good coach in basketball. We're rooting for him too. There are other people who say there's evidence that he shouldn't be the guy. And,
my thing, man, I would just be careful. And because again, I know Michael Alford's going to want to go big because that's how he does. That's how he operates. He's going to look to get a big name coach. I reported at the time. Other people have reported it too. He was going to go after Lane Kiffin if Norvell had gone to Alabama. The thing is, I just say, man, you are so leveraged right now financially. And if you do have to buy out Mike Norvell, and then you're going to sign another deal with somebody where you're locked up for $80 million or more, it's just like, man, because it's just a lot. At some point, those bills do come due.
Jensen, Corey, better chance of happening. FSU wins out or FSU loses out?
Wins out, but not by much.
I wonder what the odds would be on that in Vegas because I don't know, Corey.
I don't know that they're going to be
a 50-50?
They're not going to be a 20-point underdog in any game this season. They're basically a 20-point overdog right now. So I would.
What do we call a favorite?
Yeah,
I go overdog.
A lot of us call them favorites.
I go overdog.
That's one way to do it. Like if you're in a casino, say, "What's the overdog here?" I think people would know what you're.
It's normal. That's normal talk, guys. It's just bros being bros, talking like guys talk, right? I was like an alien. I just gave it up. I'm an extraterrestrial.
Seasoned gambler over here on the third table from our
overdog.
Yeah. So who's the overdog?
I do think the odds are.
And they're going to be favored against Wake, and they're going to be favored against Virginia Tech.
The odds are more, I think, likely that they would win out than lose out. But I mean, the odds that they would is,
well, I mean, it's 5% versus 3%. I mean, the odds aren't great, but I would say they're a little more likely to win out than lose out. And they've done it before. They have a history of this 3 years ago, guys. It wasn't that far away. It wasn't that long ago.
It's interesting that Justin Cryer brought that up today. He's like, I wasn't here in 2002, but 2022. He wasn't here in 2002.
He wasn't alive.
I wasn't
in 2002.
Wrong. Don't correct me when I'm not
sorry,
wrong.
You're right.
Yeah. But he certainly heard the story this week. So I'd be curious where he heard that story.
I'm sure Norvell might have told him, hey, guys, in 2022, we started out 4-0 with a big win over an SEC team, then lost 3 in a row because that's what I do. That's we love losing streaks.
Look at who I'm talking about right here, guys.
We're going to lose 3 in a row.
Leonard Hamilton would do that all the time. He would tell those guys, like last year and the year before, and he would always say, well, there's a year where we started off terrible and we won the ACC. And it's like, yeah, okay, man. That did happen once.
Yeah.
Maury. I love it. Or this is Murray. Sorry.
Maury.
I thought it was Maury. Like we were going old school Goodfellas.
Murray's still a pretty old school name. I feel
Murray
like.
and Maury. That'd be like 1957 Jewish guy in New York. That'd be fantastic.
Did you guys think about Murray for Clark or Bryce?
No, Murray never came.
What about
never
came
up.
Huge, yes.
No, it's hard to shorten that to Murr. Yeah, because I call Brady Braid all the time. I don't got time for that extra syllable.
We did go old school, though. I mean, Clark is after Clark Gable. That is crazy old school.
Not Corey Clark.
Yeah, no.
It's a popular misconception. People think you named your kid after me.
Oh, it's just like Ira's daughter, Cameron. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
All right. Ever since the Virginia game, it looks like everyone on defense has bricks on their cleats. Shake my head. I'm going to the Stanford game only because I live in California. If they lose, they should do what USC did to Kiffin. Well, I think that a lot of people agree with that sentiment. So they'll let him get on the plane, though.
It is interesting. He's talking about how slow they're playing, and we talked about how tentative they're playing. And and it's one point during Tony White's press conference on Sunday, he talked about having to breathe more confidence or speak more confidence into his players. They look like a team that is afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird.
It's really
kind of wild
because
they make. You think they'd be used to it?
I mean, that's where I was going.
Oh, sorry.
Or you think they'd build off the success they had against Bama?
And I do think they were probably overconfident Virginia. And then, I mean, listen, man, Miami hit them. Miami hit them. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But you wouldn't think that. You would think you'd say, okay, well, we're going to get right this week.
Yeah, this ain't Miami.
Right.
Yeah, this team's not loaded with NFL talent on the offensive line. And
strange.
It is strange, but also indicative of a Mike Norvell team that begins to wane with confidence and doesn't seem to get it back.
Again, I bring up 2023. I know they won those games.
But they should have worse and worse on offense.
That Miami game that they barely won was indefensible going up against a true freshman quarterback when you have Jordan Travis on the other side and Keon Coleman, and you're in a one-score game and they got the ball at midfield with a minute to go. That's crazy that was a game. It's crazy that was a game.
Chris writes, $58 million ain't chump change. Firing the man who gave that extension would make me happy at this point. See, this is to the other guy's question. There are people who certainly feel strongly about this as well.
I also don't, and I wrote about it in my column. I just don't know I don't know what Florida State else could they've done in that situation. Jimmy Sexton had him by the short hairs, and he did what he does.
It's if it had been anyone but Alabama.
Also, yeah,
if
because
it
of the
had been
circumstances.
LSU, you're like, go
because
then.
of the circumstances.
Yes,
you just
I know.
Got snubbed by them.
You just got snubbed by that school, and they're the reason you didn't go to the playoff. And then he leaves for that school.
You're suing the ACC. You look like there's a perception that Florida State is not a big boy. You got left out of the playoff.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to the big boys. And then your coach leaves you for the school that it would have been awful. They had to pay what they had to pay.
In hindsight, it wouldn't have been so bad.
In hindsight, you'd be like, take it on down the road, brother.
Yeah. Well, good hire, Alabama.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. But we all celebrated at the time. We can't go back and be revisionist about it. It was a big deal that they kept Mike Norvell. It really was. And you thought he had the thing humming.
Turned out to be a tragedy. It's the Zen Master story. We'll see. It's the classic, so you give the boy a horse. Hey, isn't that great? We'll see.
When I hear horse, I think about one thing.
Yeah, here we go.
Chopping off his head.
Kid
cutting off that
falls
head,
off the
throwing
horse,
it
breaks
saving.
his leg.
No,
that's terrible. We'll see. Army comes along, indoctrinates him to go to a war. Can't. Broken leg. 2 injured. Oh, that's a good thing. We'll see. You see, it is. That's Mike Norvell.
Story time.
Hey, there you go,
I feel like
guys.
he's about to tuck us into bed.
I know. I like my dead horse story better with the blood everywhere.
No, that says no question. Just this: if we F around and lose to Stanford, I'm done with Norvell. Full stop. That's you and everybody else.
Literally everybody else. I think there's no defense. There's no defense after that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
because you can squint your eyes about Pittsburgh and Virginia losses. They might be good. They're bowl teams. Stanford's horrible. They're 2-14 and they're 2-12 in their last 14 ACC games too. Just like you. This is the battle of the bottom feeders. There's no way you can squint and make this loss defensible in any way, shape, or form. That's why it's not going to happen though.
We didn't get to all the questions. Forgive us. There were a lot. Many of them are of similar sentiment, so I did gloss over several. But until the next time, we say thanks for listening. Of course, as always, bonus hour coming up next with me and Tom. Corey Clark, say goodbye.
Peace out.
I
Peace
do
out.
the same.
Coach B coming on Thursday. Go to YouTube, search for Coach B.
There we go. Let's get it done.
Listen, and we're not going to talk about Florida State, so it's going to be all good times.
Yeah, good times indeed. Be good. Bonus hour up next. Stay tuned. Peace.